Welcome to your show, Identities Umhlobo, where we're talking about your social, economic, and political issues with Nyari Mashayamombe. Over the last few weeks, we've been concentrating on public finance management in Zimbabwe. We've learned a great deal around the issues that surrounds the issue. In the studio today, I'm joined by John Maketo. Mr. John, welcome to the studio.
Welcome. Thank you, Nyari.
I'm also joined by Mr. Pepkai Chivore. Welcome, Mr. Pepkai.
Thank you, Nyari.
Right, gentlemen, we have been talking about public finance management in Zimbabwe. We've covered a lot of things. We've covered the responsibility of government, issues of borrowing, issues of accountability, issues of it's linked to issues of human rights, for example. But today we want to focus on the oversight role and the participation of citizens. When we're talking about public finance and citizen participation, what do you understand, John? And what is it that we can look forward to?
Sure, thank you very much. So, being a democratic country and representative democracy, which we believe in Zimbabwe, it simply means that we emphasize the role and importance of citizen participation in political, economic, and social processes. And therefore, we are in this program, we are looking particularly on the participation of citizens in economic governance, in particular, yes.
Right.
How we mobilize our resources, how we manage them, how we redistribute them, and so forth. So that's what we're looking for at basically.
Mr. Chore, do you think that citizens in this country have power to be part of maybe designing of public programs, implementing of public programs, evaluating of public programs that have a connotation around public finance management?
Indeed, Nyari, citizens have the power. Starting from the Constitution, the Constitution empowers them to be involved in the national development discourse. If you look at Section 13, which talks about national development, which says national development should be all-inclusive and should involve everyone. And Section 13, subsection 2 says citizens must be involved in national development issues. So citizens have the power because they are empowered by their constitution to be involved in national development issues.
Right. John, practically speaking, what are some of the simple steps that citizens can take in as far as taking part in public finance management is concerned?
Okay, thank you. Before we talk about the practical steps, let's talk about what's happening currently. You understand that when the national budget is being formulated, that's at the national level. The minister, in fact, before the minister pronounces the budget, Parliament takes takes their time and resources to get to the people to do what is called budget consultations. Parliament
is the one that does that?
Yes, Parliament leads that process to go to people in various constituencies for budget consultations. At that stage, they're actually soliciting ideas from people to say, what is it that we want government to prioritize? What should be reflected in our national budget? So that's one platform that people can easily participate in. It's given and the resources are provided for in Parliament's budget even to say that they should do those consultations as part of the public finance management process. And so one of the things that we've observed is that there's little participation from people. Apparently, people don't turn out in their numbers to participate in those consultations. Why is that so? I think it's another discussion, but generally the observation is that people don't participate much. Then secondly, even at the local authority level, when local authorities, town councils, city councils, when they are formulating their own budgets at local level, they are actually supposed to go back to the people, consult people, and have their budget mandated by the people. There must be a buy-in by citizens to ensure that that budget becomes legit and credible. So those are some of the processes that we have currently. But over and above, citizens can actually participate throughout the budget cycle, not just in the formulation stages or just to authorize the budget to give it mandate, but to also continue in monitoring its implementation ensuring that expenditure is being tracked well, and what has been budgeted for is actually what is being is actually happening. Yes. So citizens, I must say, they must participate throughout the budget cycle, which includes planning, formulation stage, those consultations, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of the whole budget cycle. Yeah.
So thank you, John. I'll come back to you at some point to find out if you think, because you mentioned that citizens usually are not participating in their numbers through the processes of participate that are required when Parliament is going to community, and you mentioned about the local councils as well. When they're doing the processes, there's actually the outcry that citizens are not participating. We want to investigate if there is enough appreciation by the citizens that their participation is important, or if the citizens appreciate the value it brings in the bigger picture of their participation. Because I think people just look at, why should I go, ndombo siya kunodiridzira muriwo wangu, or something like that, why should I go? But I want to come to Mr. Chivore and say, as Parliament of Zimbabwe, there is the feedback that citizens are not much participating, and you've got this overall mandate to make sure that citizens are participating. What is Parliament doing to make sure that there are more citizens that are coming up, and there is better inclusivity in processes?
Thank you very much for that question, Nyari. There are about 5 things that we must make sure that they are in place for people to participate. The first one being, they need to be a legal framework. And like I alluded to before, there's Section 13, which says people must be involved. There's Section 141, which mandates Parliament to involve the people in all its processes. So the legal framework is there. Then secondly, there's need for people to understand the nature and scope of the public consultations. It's one area that we admit that we need to improve in terms of making it, in terms of publicity of our consultations. What are we consulting people for? And what's the scope of the consultation? So we need to give people prior information on if there are bills, if there is the budget, what is it that we are looking for, so that people come prepared. We get informed and well thought views from the public. Another issue is to do with feedback. People think that what the information that they are giving to Parliament or to government is not being put to good use because they don't see the result, they don't see the feedback. But it's one thing that we need to improve going forward, to give people feedback, to say, from the information that we have received from you, we have used it for 1, 2, 3, 4 purposes, and this is what is going to change. And this information, we have not taken it on board because of 1, 2, 3 reasons. So it's one thing that we also need to improve. So those are some of the things that people look into. But another issue is just interest. We have realized that there are some consultations that are oversubscribed because people have interest. For example, we have the marriage bill that is coming. Okay. People have interest in that bill, so people come in their numbers.
Amazing feedback.
Amazing feedback, you can say that again. But there are other very complicated processes of very complicated bills or consultation that we have undertaken. For example, we have the money laundering bill. We don't expect so much citizen involvement because it's a complicated thing. So we will devise ways of trying to get feedback from the people. For example, focus group discussions, focusing on people who appreciate those processes. So those are some of the things that Parliament is doing to make sure that we improve on citizen participation.
We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we want to understand further how citizens can actually take, action around public finance management. We heard from John the importance of why citizens can participate even within their localities, the issues of complex issues that the government sometimes finds itself having to deal with, and also cultivating interest in the people. Do not go away. We're just taking a short break. Stay with us.